Hello there. 1917. Good movie. Very good movie. When I first heard about the movie, I believe I first heard about it from seeing it in a trailer. And it looked cool. It looked like a well done epic war movie. And I was pretty excited about it just because it was World War One, and I feel like there's kind of a shortage of things set in World War One. It's like World War Two is kind of just the war for movies and TV shows and stuff. It was like World War One. I was excited about that. But then what like really made me excited about the movie is when I heard that it was filmed as to look like it's one continuous shot. You know, I had seen that in a couple other things. And Birdman would be the pretty popular movie that came out a few years ago, that was filmed like that. As a war movie, I felt like that made sense, kind of, but also something that would be hard to do. Because you know, a lot of times war movies will have they'll have the aerial shots to show the epicness and the scale of the battle. So I think doing a whole movie like that, just as one shot, would definitely make it unique. And Sam Mendes is a director I haven't followed closely, but he's done some movies I've seen, and Skyfall, which I think is a really good movie, he did. I believe he also directed Spectre, which was a bit of an underwhelming film, but it was still good. So anyway, he's doing a war movie that is filmed in a very unique way. Pretty excited about that. Thankfully, I actually went to see it opening night. I mean, because it came out December 25th in some theaters. I didn't see it until January 10th, which is when it had its wide release. So I got to see it sort of opening night. Whatever. Anyway, so I believe this was Sam Mendes' first movie to write. He co-wrote it with Christy Wilson Cairns. I'm not familiar with her, but if this movie is any indication of her writing skills, she is good. So her and Sam Mendes together wrote a really good script. The dialogue I felt very genuine, especially for the main characters. Really feel like you get to know them very quickly, and you understand their motives, kind of what they're about, where they stand, and I think it works really well. There is a surprising amount of humor in the movie. I laughed a few times in the movie, actually, which I wasn't expecting that. I think it's good. It makes the movie pretty entertaining, actually, and probably keeps it from being boring. Like it might drag at some points if it were not for the humor. And for the most part, I think the humor makes sense and is realistic and natural. Other than a couple of times where I would say it's almost like a Marvel joke, where it doesn't quite make sense for that moment with the tension surrounding it. But for the most part, it works well. One of my biggest complaints about the movie is actually Benedict Cumberbatch. I think he's a fantastic actor, but he's Benedict Cumberbatch, and he's hardly in it. And it makes it to where he's Benedict Cumberbatch. He never becomes the character he portrays. So it's just like, when he finally shows up on screen, you're like, hey, there's Benedict Cumberbatch. There he is. I've been waiting for him all movie long. And it's just Benedict Cumberbatch the whole time he's on screen. He never becomes that character. Whereas I think it was smart to do like lesser known actors. Like I've seen several actors in a few things, but they're not like stars like him. So I feel like he wasn't the best choice to be at the end of the movie. Had he portrayed one of the characters at the beginning of the movie, I think it would have worked better, like before you really get into the story. Whereas being at the end, it's kind of took me out a bit. He's like, hey, there's Benedict, like that's feels like kind of a petty complaint, but it was something I noticed and perhaps was a mistake. Also, his character was I really liked his character. It was a fun character, and I think a little bit of humor in that part was really good, and he did that well. But I think someone else should have done it. One thing you should know about this movie is that it's not a historical movie. It's a movie loosely based on stories that Sam Mendes' grandfather would tell him as a child. So it's not based on, there's not historical evidence to support this stuff. Characters are made up to some extent, but it is a good movie, and I don't think that like delegitimizes it. You know, it's like Saving Private Ryan. It's one of those. It's a really good war movie. It's a devastating movie. It's a beautiful movie. One that I think is definitely rewarding to watch in theaters. Being one continuous shot just makes you feel what the characters are feeling, you know, claustrophobic or just alone, like in desolate, destroyed land that's been devastated by war. I think it works really well. So if you've seen the trailers and you're at all interested in it, I definitely recommend seeing it. If you like war movies, I recommend seeing it. If you have not seen the trailers though, I recommend not watching the trailers. In my opinion, the trailers show some stuff they shouldn't show. It's kind of a bummer that trailers do that now. So often trailers show too much, and I think they definitely do. So if you haven't seen the trailers, don't watch the trailers, just go watch the movie. I think that's probably the best thing to do. It's definitely a movie I think would be great to go in completely blind in. As a whole, the movie's really good. Acting is phenomenal. Costumes, great. Cinematography, great. The attention to the detail is very impressive. And there's so few complaints with it. I think there's parts in the plot that are like too convenient. And it's kind of like, that's a movie. That's a movie. So it's a few times where it's like, that doesn't feel super real. But, I mean, it is a movie, and it's not based on history. So, I think it works. So,
I'm on the